So if you're working as a health, fitness, or a wellness professional, you're absolutely going to run into clients that are dealing with tinnitus or ringing in the ear. And this symptom can really show up in a variety of ways for different clients. It can be like a ringing or a buzzing or a humming or some guy named Hank asking them what's for lunch. But people just get this experience of, hey, I'm hearing something that is not having everybody else hear it. So what is going wrong with me? And the advice that your clients find when they're searching for answers for tinnitus is really nothing short of horrible. All they're pretty much going to see is, hey, why don't you reduce your salt and your caffeine intake? And I'll put some links in the description below for some data that shows that, wow, there really is no information that shows us that either of these steps are beneficial for tinnitus in any way. So your clients take these steps and now they're miserable because they're asleep half of the day and then all their food is bland because they got rid of all their caffeine and their salt and they still got ringing in their ears. But what happened with me was that years ago, I would see client after client that was coming to me with these tinnitus type symptoms. And they were coming to me for different reasons. They were not coming to me to correct their tinnitus. They were looking for other health improvements. And I would just see over and over again with client after client that we would take steps to improve these other health issues and their tinnitus would go away. And I had no idea why. I thought I was like some kind of leprechaun. Like, I don't know, just come work with me and your tinnitus goes away. So in this video, I'm going to help you understand the steps that I was taking that was actually helping those clients correct the underlying cause of their tinnitus and get to the point where it just didn't come back again. You're not going to want to miss this.
TC Hale is not a doctor and does not claim to be a doctor or licensed in any type of medical field. Don't be an idiot and use anything heard on the show as medical advice. This information should be used for educational purposes only, and you should contact your doctor for any medical advice. Now get off me.
Now, there are actually a lot of different things that can create this tinnitus issue. There are things like autotoxic medications, which means there are medications that are creating trouble for that ear area. Smoking can create trouble. Compacted wax or an ear infection. All these things have the ability to create these tinnitus type symptoms. But in this video, I'm going to talk about the two most common causes and the causes that seem to be creating this issue for all of my clients, because all the clients that I worked with this issue saw improvement and we didn't address any of those issues that I just listed. And one thing that the medical world is really agreeing on now is that when we're seeing this tinnitus issue, we're also seeing a lot of gut dysbiosis. And the medical world kind of feels like this dysbiosis is creating a problem where it's altering neurotransmitter production or creating neuroinflammatory responses in the brain, and these are the issues that are creating these tinnitus type symptoms. But when we look at this dysbiosis usually comes about because one of the main sides of digestion is not working correctly. So when we're talking about the main sides of digestion, we're talking about the ability to create HCl in the stomach. That hydrochloric acid has to be produced in the stomach so that we can break down our food correctly, so that we can get all the nutrients out of that food. And the other side of digestion is that alkaline side, which is the bile side. So bile is produced by the liver and then stored in the gallbladder, and then once that acidic food leaves the stomach, then the gallbladder squirts that alkaline bile down onto that acidic product to neutralize those acids, to help us emulsify or break down our dietary fats, and to really help us bust that food apart and get all the nutrients out of that food. So the problem is, it's very common for someone not to be making enough stomach acid, and it's also very common for someone's bile to become too thick and sticky to flow correctly, so they don't have that natural bile flow, and that can create a lot of problems with this digestive process. So this stomach acid not only helps us break down the food, but when your clients are eating food and bringing in bacteria and all these bad varmints in on the food that they're eating, that stomach acid is like the knight in disgusting armor. It's what's frying those varmints in an acid bath so they don't come in and create all of that dysbiosis problem. And with all of my clients that were dealing with tinnitus, they were also dealing with some type of digestive symptom or some type of digestive malfunction. So we were addressing those malfunctions. So it's very important to understand if your clients are showing signs of low stomach acid or poor bile flow. So in the description below, we'll put links to our videos on 10 signs your clients have low stomach acid and 10 signs your clients are dealing with poor bile flow. So you'll want to go through those to understand those signs and symptoms that kind of show up when a client is dealing with some type of digestive malfunction. So when we took steps to improve those digestive malfunctions, then all of a sudden those symptoms of the tinnitus just went away. And if you want to dig a little deeper into helping clients understand digestive malfunctions and how to fix them, my book Health Pro Results chapters 3 and 4 walk you through figuring out which aspects of digestion are not working for your clients and steps you can help them take to correct those. And the book is available on Amazon, but I'm going to put a link in the description below so you can get the whole thing totally for free, and you can just jump to chapters 3 and 4 to understand those digestive factors. And if you happen to be a consumer that just watched this video because you wanted to learn about tinnitus, we'll also put a link in the description below for my book Kick Your Fat in the Nuts, and chapters 3 and 4 of that book also go through those same things. And that book is just more appropriate for consumers, where the Health Pro Results is really geared towards health professionals. But there's a lot of things in our world today that can restrict those dietary functions. There's things like, estrogen therapy is very popular, birth control is very popular, and when estrogen goes high from these therapies, it really seems to have the ability to thicken up that bile so the bile can't flow correctly. And once bile is not flowing, then the whole digestive process is not working the way that it should, and the clients are not really getting all the minerals and nutrients out of the food that they're eating, and then they don't have the minerals and nutrients needed to make that hydrochloric acid. So you can get this cascade of one digestive malfunction after another that can create a whole lot of problems. So when you can help clients fix either or both of these sides of digestion and make sure that they're working optimally, it can improve a whole lot of things. I've heard some folks talk about some connections between tinnitus and gallbladder issues, and the reality is that most gallbladder issues come about because the bile has become too thick and sticky to flow correctly, and that gallbladder's job is to concentrate that bile, so a small amount of bile is more effective. But if it's too thick and sticky to flow correctly, then that bile is going to stay in the gallbladder, and the gallbladder will continue to concentrate it until it concentrates into sludge or even stones. So my feeling is that this is really what that connection is about with the gallbladder troubles and the tinnitus type symptoms. And if you do see clients having signs of poor bile flow, we'll put a link in the description below for 5 steps to help clients improve their bile flow, so you understand the appropriate steps to take when a client needs to fix that malfunction. Now, the second interesting thing about tinnitus is that a lot of those clients that had the tinnitus issues came to me because they had read that book about the weight loss, the Kick Your Fat in the Nuts book, and they were also wanting to lose weight. So I was taking steps with these clients to help them lose weight. And I'm going to put some links to some studies below in the description that really show a strong correlation between hyperinsulinemia and this tinnitus issue. And when I'm helping someone lose weight, one of my biggest steps is always to help them lower their carbohydrate intake so that insulin can come down, so the body can access stored fat and burn that for fuel. As long as insulin is high, the body not only can't access stored fat, but it'll also tell the body, hey, we need to store more as fat. So bringing insulin down is always a crucial step when you're wanting to help a client lose weight. So I was seeing a lot of these clients losing weight and also seeing the tinnitus go away. So was the tinnitus going away because I was helping fix these digestive malfunctions, improving the bile flow or gallbladder issues, improving digestion so the body can correct this gut dysbiosis problems and fry the bacteria that are coming in on the system? Or was it because I was lowering their insulin and reducing the inflammation that can come from those high insulin levels? I didn't know. I didn't really care. I didn't feel like I had to know exactly what was fixing this for the clients. I just noticed that if they had either of these issues, where they had digestive malfunctions or what appeared to be high insulin levels, when I corrected that with them, the tinnitus seemed to go away. So there's things you can look at when it comes to high insulin levels with your clients. You can just look at your fasting blood sugar, and if their fasting blood sugar is over 100, it's not diagnostic. There's a lot of other things that can raise blood sugar, but it's a strong sign that maybe insulin is going high too, since blood sugar is leaning on that higher side. And we don't have a video on insulin resistance on this channel, but I'll put a link in the description below for our video over on our consumers channel about why we become insulin resistant, so that you can get an understanding of what clients are doing that is creating that insulin resistance in the first place, and raising the level of insulin that's needed for them to process the carbohydrates that they're consuming. It's important to understand those things so you can help clients correct them. So you can see that it's not always going to be the same thing for every client. So if you're using a remedy for tinnitus, odds of that working for all of your clients is very low because the underlying cause of the tinnitus can really vary from person to person. But if you're looking at the actual bio-individuality of the client and understanding what the underlying cause is that is most likely for them, then you can address that cause and see, does the tinnitus symptom improve? In my case, it pretty much improves every single time. So these seem to be really strong factors to look at. Again, none of them are diagnostic, but if you can see these same issues going on with your clients and you help them improve it and improves the tinnitus issue as well, then I want to hear about it because that just seems to be a really strong correlation going on. So I hope that helps you figure out some answers for your clients. And if you haven't seen it already, jump over now and check out our video on 10 signs of poor bile flow so you can understand those signs and see if you start to see some correlations between some digestive malfunctions and these tinnitus symptoms. I can't wait to hear about your results.